Live from Sweet Swine County, where every day is sweet, it's Split Hoof Tonight with Billy Gates and the Broken Windows Band. Hi, I'm Earl Silo, and now let's welcome Sweet Swine's one and only Cousin John.
Thanks, folks. Hey, welcome to another great installment of Split Hoof Tonight. Earl, how you doing tonight?
Doing good, Cousin John.
Earl, didn't you go to a little college there?
Why, yes, I did.
Did you go down to old Purdue University?
That's the one.
You know, they called me up the other day. They want me to come down there and teach a class to the kids and tell them all about economics. Since I'm so successful, they want me to tell them how economics really works. So let me try out my first lecture on you.
Okay.
Sit back and listen to old Professor Olson here. You know, things have been kind of tough nowadays, you know, the recession. You know, some people are having a tough time finding a job. Okay. Things are kind of slow around old Split Hoof here. You know, you got farmers are out in the field, so they're not coming to town spending money. You got guys out hunting, they're off hunting places, they're not coming around here. You got kids, got all the school activities, all that kind of stuff. Things have been kind of tight. Well, down at old Ma Brewster's boarding house the other day, this old fancy-dancy traveling salesman from over by Winona over there, he comes in and says, hey, he says, I'd like to take a look at some of your rooms. Let me do this. He pulls out a $100 bill, lays it on the counter. He says, I'm going to run upstairs, take a look at the rooms. I'm going to need to stay in a room, and I might have some meetings and stuff. So I just kind of want to inspect your facilities. Let me borrow your master key. Okay. So Ma gives him the key. She's looking at that $100 bill just a drooling. She grabs it real quick. She runs over across the street over to Edie's over there, and she pays Chef Randy for her food bill. Well, Chef Randy's got the $100 bill in his hand. He goes, oh. He runs down to Martin's butcher shop and pays the butcher for all the meat that he's cut up that he sold to everybody else and Ma Brewster. Well, Martin thinks to himself, boy, I got some money. I better take care of this. He runs over to Marvin Monroe, was over at Edie's there, sitting down eating. Says, Marvin, here's that $100 I owe you for your livestock. Marvin goes, well, that's great. He takes it, swallows down his coffee, busts right out the door and runs down to Clem Johnson's feed supply. Okay. Pays on his bill $100. Well, behind the counter there's old Willie Odom. Well, Willie looks at that and goes, ooh, I got a bill I got to take care of. He goes out and finds old Jubilee. You know Jubilee. She's kind of the lady of the evening in Sweet Swine County. Things got kind of tough on old Jubilee. She has had to resort to taking credit. But Willie paid up to her. So old Jubilee goes, oh, I got $100. She runs right across the street, gets over to Ma Brewster's boarding house, slaps down the $100 bill on the counter, and says, this is for my room. Ma Brewster thinks, looking at that, goes, hey, this is great. Now if this guy comes downstairs, he's not going to know any difference. Just about that time, the guy comes downstairs and goes, you know what? That meeting room's a little bit small, and that bed was a little soft, you know. I'm going to find someplace else to stay, but I appreciate your hospitality. Picks up his $100, puts it back in his pocket, and leaves, never to be seen from again. Now, some really weird things happened there. The whole town's out of debt. Nobody produced anything, and nobody's got anything left. And that, my students, is exactly how the federal government works. Okay, hey, anyway, folks, we got a great show tonight. Super guest, but before we bring him on, we're going to run and see what one of our residents is doing outside Sweet Swine County. We'll be right back.
It's me again, Rudy the Runner, on the run through our story country. Today I just had to stop at one of the finest towns in the Midwest. Here, take a look for yourselves.
Brookings, South Dakota is the fourth largest city in the Mount Rushmore state with a population of about 22,000. Named after Wilmot W. Brookings, a spirited pioneer promoter, Brookings was originally surveyed and platted in 1879 in preparation for the railroad. After the railroad had bypassed other area settlements of Fountain, Oakwood, and Madary, many merchants from those towns packed up their businesses and moved to Brookings, immediately boosting the town's growth. Today, Brookings is the envy of many communities. Serving as the county seat for Brookings County, the downtown has beautifully kept historic buildings with great shops, restaurants, and entertainment spots. Brookings is also home to the South Dakota State University, the largest institution of higher learning in the state. Each summer during July, Brookings' beautiful Pioneer Park is used for South Dakota's premier 2-day juried art festival. over 200 artists from across the nation exhibit their skilled and handcrafted works of art. The festival also features music performed in the park's historic band shell and on side stages throughout the park. Nearly 75,000 people attend the Brookings Summer Arts Festival while enjoying the many other incredible features the city offers to visitors throughout the Midwest.
Wowie zowie, folks! This next town is so amazing, I just had to stop and stay the night.
While on their way west in 1868, the Addison Phelps family passed a pleasant area along the Pomme de Terre River. With ample water, trees, and a rich prairie land for farming, Phelps decided to settle here. Soon other settlers from the east arrived, and were followed by more German and Scandinavian immigrants. On September 4th, 1872, the township of Appleton was formed, and in 1880, the village of Appleton was established, named after Phelps' boyhood town of Appleton, Wisconsin. Located in Swift County, Appleton, Minnesota is the only town in the country with all of its 34 streets and avenues named after fallen war heroes. Beginning in 1947, Appleton began renaming its streets in honor of the World War II soldiers who had lost their lives, and since then has added the names of other war heroes from the Korean, Vietnam, and Iraqi freedom wars. With a population of about 1,400, Appleton is a thriving community with an economy primarily driven by agriculture and farm-related services. Each year in September, Applefest draws visitors from the surrounding area for a weekend-long celebration that includes arts and crafts exhibits, a flea market, car show, parade, family-styled entertainment, and a barbecue feed.
Hey, folks, welcome back. Hey, that was great. What are you doing?
Well, Cousin John, you know me. I am Mr. Technology, on the cutting edge of everything. I'm chirping.
Chirping.
Sure, chirping, you know. That's the latest rage where you can keep up on everything that's going on in the world.
Earl, that's tweeting.
You sure?
Yes, I'm sure you're tweeting. What are you tweeting about?
Oh, well, you know what I found out here? I found a spot where you can keep up on everything that's going on in that reality soap opera show called As the Corn Grows.
Oh, well, we like that show.
Yeah.
So how do you get all the information on that?
Well, you got to have an address.
Well, what is that address?
Well, it's twitter.com/asthecorngrows. So, yeah, I'm chirping.
Earl,
Yeah.
you put the phone down. We've got a show to do.
Oh, okay.
Close it. Put it away.
Yes,
Okay.
boss.
All right. So, what else? Isn't there, what are you going to be doing this weekend?
You know, I'm thinking this weekend might be a good weekend to take in a movie, don't you think?
Well, I think it's always a good weekend to take in a movie. Where were you thinking of going?
Well, I'll tell you what. I found 3 great theaters outside Sweet Swine County, and they're really all pretty historic, too.
Okay.
So not only can you see a movie, but you can soak up a little bit of history at the same time.
Earl steps out!
One of them I found is the Key Civic Theater. It's located at 108 North Main Street in downtown Keister, Minnesota.
Keister.
Keister, that's right. Yep. It opened in 1940 with seating for 300 people. It's been restored since then to its original Art Modern style. So you can go there and catch a flick there in the evenings. And then over in Jackson, Minnesota, is the historic State Theater. Now, it was built in the 1920s and has a classic Art Deco style with a single silver screen cinema.
Oh, I love Art Deco.
Yep. That's located downtown Jackson on 600 2nd Street. That theater offers show times on Thursdays through Sundays, and it even has some matinees.
Wow.
Yep. Also, if you find yourself up in Medelia, Minnesota, up in that area, you've got to check out the incredible Medelia Theater. Now, it's right downtown in Medelia there on 117 West Main Street. And that also offers a special 4-person private viewing room that they call the Blue Room.
Oh.
Yeah. You and your friends or family can watch a film in your own private setting in 4 luxurious seats. Now, that's what I call living right.
That's stepping out.
Yep. Cousin John, I'm thinking it's movie time, and that's what I'm going to do when...
Earl steps out!
Well, Earl, hey, thanks for that. Now, let me ask you this, though. In Keister, Jackson, and Medelia.
Yeah?
Now those are all outside of Sweet Swine County, right?
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
Well, Earl?
Yeah.
Earl, where'd all this stuff come
Wow.
from?
Isn't that something?
Hey, where'd all that
I'm
come
wondering-
from?
I'm wondering, is you suppose that's part of our guest?
I'll bet it is. Folks, you're in for a big treat tonight, let me tell you that. Coming to us now from Clay County down in Iowa, in Spencer, we have, along with us tonight, evidently somebody responsible for this stuff here, and it's gorgeous, let me tell you what. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Perry Polson. Well, hey, Perry, thanks for joining us. Appreciate you having here. Folks, Perry Polson from Woodturning in Spencer, Iowa. So, tell us a little bit about what. Now, wait a second. Spencer. Do they have a fairgrounds down there, don't they? And
Clay County Fair is the biggest county fair in the United States.
Oh, that's where I had heard that. No, I'm just teasing with you. I know that. But tell us a little bit about your business, what you do down there.
My Wildwood Turning business involves teaching people and custom turning for people from anything from their lilac bush in the backyard to the giant walnut tree in their front yard. Anything that's going to be taken down from development, storm damage, just in need to be removed, can be turned into something that they can cherish for a lifetime instead of just discarding.
So you're saying you can, if I've got a special tree that means something to me and I got a chunk of that wood, I can bring that wood to you and you'll make me something out of it?
Exactly, or I can help you make something out of it.
Oh, I was reading up a little bit. So you give classes? How does that work?
I have beginner classes. I start classes at 10 years old, and that's mainly between center turnings, like the ink pen I have on your desk. Things like that for smaller kids and people that have never touched a lathe before.
That's kind of reminds me, when I was a kid, I had a thing called a Mattel Power Shop that had a little lathe, and I could make things about this big, but I could never make two that looked alike, but that was kind of neat. So do you have like a special wood that's your favorite to work with?
My favorite wood to work with is lilac. For one reason, it's got a lot of grain change direction in it, a lot of color. It's got a lot of purples.
Wow, so the
So
purple's on
that's
the
not
inside,
that's
too.
not dyed. That's
All natural.
That is wow.
But the lilac, my favorite part is it smells like the flowers when you're working with it.
Oh wow.
Because when you turn a piece of oak or a piece of cottonwood, you range from urine smell to barnyard smell.
It's depending on what they've been planted by. Right? So how long have you been doing turning wood?
The extent that I do now, I've been turning for about 5 years. I've been located on Main Street in Spencer, right on Highway 71 for 3 years now, and been turning since high school shop class.
Wow. So if people wanted to see your work, where could they go to see?
I've got it in a gallery in Spirit Lake called A Piece of Work.
Okay.
Arts on Grand in Spencer. Mm-hmm. And then once a year we put on a multi-artist feature called Artisans Road Trip. Mm-hmm. And people drive around all the different studios and see different people's art.
Oh, so they all come around to your
Right.
place, not that you guys go travel around to them.
This year during Artisans Road Trip, I had over 100 people through my shop from all over the world.
So now if people want to come to your shop, do you give them demonstrations and tours of the place and all that kind of stuff?
I give a quick tour to anybody that's interested. And if I know you're coming, I can set up a demo. I frequently do women's groups, classes for schools. And when I do classes for schools, it's always fun to put a fresh piece of wood on so I can make a big mess for the kids.
They like messes. So, if a guy wanted to get into this and start, obviously you're going to have to teach him a little bit, but say he wanted to get some of his own equipment and that, start doing that. Is that something that's real difficult or real expensive to get started?
Tools and equipment can be as expensive as you let them be. Mm-hmm. And my biggest thing at Wildwood is I show you how to do it without spending all that money. Granted, you can if you want to, but you don't need to. I can often tell people that I can get them turning for under $200.
One of your you got so many gorgeous pieces here. Like this lilac
That one's actually treated on the inside, so you can drink out
You
of it.
can drink out of it, okay. So how long does it take you to turn out a piece like that?
I've got probably 15 hours in that.
That's kind of neat, like with these colors and stuff. When you get a piece of wood and you're just, you're looking at a log, how do you know what's inside there?
I do what you call reading the bark. Like on this piece, you see the spiny feature around the edge is what they call the burl. And the surface of the bark kind of tells me, after staring at trees enough, I can look at the bark and tell that there's a burl underneath of it and where the highest features are going to be. But each one of those little spiny things turns into the bird's eye figuring in the wood.
Oh, okay. Wow, that's really cool. So now your store down there in Spencer, show us a couple other ones here.
Well, when I find the natural edge on a piece, that gets a little more involved because that's what you start with.
Okay.
Is finding where that natural edge is going to be. They also call it a live edge. And then when the piece gets turned to a certain extent, then you can start filling in the transparent resins and stuff that I use to fill in the voids.
So that would have been a hole inside.
There's actually bark inside there.
Oh, okay.
And this piece is called maple poppin' because it's basically wood that popped out of a hole in the tree and grew over top of the bark on either side of it.
So now your store there in Spencer, what are your hours? When are you available there?
My hours are 9 to 5, Saturdays from 2 to 6. Thursday evenings, the stores in Spencer are open late, so I'm there till 9
right
o'clock.
there with them. You got a website then, Perry?
Wildwoodturning.com.
That's right. Get that down here. www.wildwoodturning.com. We'll get that down. I got to ask you one other thing. This thing here just intrigues me. This isn't sap or amber in here. What?
It's a polyester resin.
That is just amazing. How do you do that in the?
I use a polyester because it keeps some flexibility with the wood.
Because that wood's gonna expand and contract over.
Wood always
wet.
never stops moving. This piece is being done for breast cancer awareness. It'll be auctioned off this next month.
That's gorgeous.
But that's the same material, colored pink.
Colored pink. Okay. So then you do the same with this turquoise stuff?
The turquoise is a granulated turquoise material that I put in there, and then it's set in with the same resin.
Oh, wow.
Colored black.
Oh, that's great. So.
This piece back here is an extreme example of the turquoise fill in a root ball from a barberry bush. The yellow is all natural. The turquoise is all I added.
Well, hey, Perry, this has been really enlightening and it's beautiful stuff. We'd like to, what do we got here?
I'd like to give the whole studio audience
everybody
a Wildwood t-shirt.
Folks, that just goes to show you again why this is the hottest ticket in town. Thank you very much. That'll be great. Well, Perry, thanks again for stopping by.
Appreciate it.
Good report tonight.
Well, thank you, cousin.
Keep tweeting out there.
I'm going to keep chirping away.
Okay, yeah, do that.
Whistling.
Folks, stop back and see us again next time. We might even have a band that time. But for now, good night, everybody.